Hi there, this is Tammy with Tammy Stamping Therapy. Last week, I think it was, I did a project share where I showed a sticker book that I made for Joanne, and then I also showed an Valentine's embellishment binder that I made, and I promised a tutorial on how to make the book. So today I'm showing you that. The books I made last week were 7 inches by 9 inches. The Valentine's binder was 2 inches thick, and I think Joanne's, if I remember right, was 1.5 inches thick. This little binder that I made, it's not really a binder, it's an album, is 5 by 7, and I made it using the Honeybee Sweet and the Golden Honey Designer paper, and gold foil cardstock. So this is the inside. This is made the exact same way that I made the other two books, with the slanted pockets and the pockets here, and then this here. The difference is on some of the pages I did a top pocket, and on some of the pages I did a side pocket. So this is a book that I made, and I'm going to show you how I made it. This one is really, really pretty. I really like it. This video may be in 2 parts. I'm not sure yet. It depends on how quickly it goes. And stay tuned at the end for a surprise. So let's get started. The first thing that I have is, this one's going to be made with the lovely lily pad stamp set and dies from the current Celebration catalog with Stampin' Up! And then I'm also using the designer paper. All these things are things you can get free with a purchase. The paper is free with a $50 purchase. The stamp set is free with a $50 purchase, and then the die set is free with a $100 purchase. I love this paper, and so when I was looking for a different paper to use, I decided to use it. Our outside cover needs to be 8.5 by 14, so I have 2 pieces that are 8.5 by 7.5, and I'm going to attach these to each other. As soon as I start filming, the dogs start going around making their clackety-clack noises. Very annoying. I don't know what's up with that. That's our little dog making noise. I'm going to overlap these just a little bit. And it doesn't really matter if they're crooked much, because once you put the book together, you're not going to see that. I'm going to make a little pencil mark here where it's where the edge of the back side of the cardstock is, because I want that to be the middle. Yeah, this is crooked. You can see that it's crooked. That's okay. And then I have chipboard. This I would consider probably heavyweight chipboard. This came inside the glimmer paper that Stampin' Up! Has. So you need 2 pieces that are 5 by 7 and one that's 7 by 1.5. And I'm going to start by placing the 7 by 1.5 inch piece in the middle. And I'm putting that pencil mark right in the middle also. Let's see if I can center it top to bottom. Quit making noise. And then I'm going to take the cover pieces and I'm going to put them on here. If you hear other noise in the background, that's my husband. He's got headphones on and he thinks he doesn't make any noise, but he does make noise sometimes. When making a book like this, the standard space to leave is usually 1/8 of an inch, but you need to leave at least as much space as your chipboard is thick. And the reason for that is, if you don't leave enough space, then when you close your book, your cardstock will split. You can make a book like this using designer paper for the cover or cardstock, and I'm using cardstock for this one. And I think that glue is empty. They're all empty. Okay. Oops. Here's a brand new bottle of glue, so it should get me through the book. So I'll place this one the same way. One thing I discovered, the other book that I just showed you, I really wanted to use that Golden Honey designer paper, but that kind of meant I needed a black base, and working with black, everything is really hard to see. So I'll show you, if I remember, I'll show you a trick that I did to be able to see what I needed to see. Now we have this all glued down well, but we want to kind of score the cardstock first so it won't crack when we bend it. And to do that, I'm just taking my bone folder and going along the edges of the chipboard. And I'm on a foam mat, so this is making it, it's helping it to crease the cardstock. There, and we can kind of, you can see from the back, it's got creases in it, so hopefully that's going to stop it from cracking. I'm going to put my tear and tape all around the edges. And I will burnish it. And then I want to do the long sides first and then the ends last. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut off my corners. And when I do this, I want to leave again the thickness of the chipboard from the corner. So for some chipboard it's 1/8 of an inch. For some chipboard it's more than that. I will take this off, and then I should have done this first with my bone folder. Take this and kind of give it a reason to go up and over, and then burnish. So we'll do that with this side too before I take it off. And I'll take this off, fold that over, I don't know if you can hear in the background, my big yellow lab is on the couch making groaning noises. She lays on the couch on her back and plays. She puts her feet in the air. She's a very silly dog. I don't understand what she's doing when she's doing that stuff, but she is just very, very funny, very comical. So then I'll take this off. And this one. This piece, since it's put together with cardstock, is really, really stiff, and you'll see that. You can see that when I pick it up. It doesn't like bend at all. And I'm going to kind of, that corner didn't do exactly what I wanted, but That's okay. And one thing about using, like on the first one when I used the black, you can't see this kind of stuff on the black. So that's a good thing. So see, this is very stiff. Doesn't want to bend at all. So I'm going to start it bending by going like this and then get it to bend up. And it is not splitting yet. That's a good thing. When I made the Valentine's embellishment binder, it split, and so then I covered the spine with designer paper because it had a split right here. So this is the outside of my book. Pretty quick and easy. Next I'm going to do the inside spine. And to do that, I have a piece of Granny Apple Green that I have cut to 8.5 by 6.5, and then I've scored it. I want my spine pieces to be a 1/2 inch tall, and then in between each spine piece is 3/8 of an inch. So I've scored it at 1.5, 2, 2.5, 2 7/8, 3 5/8, 3 7/8, 4 1/4, 4 3/4, 5 1/4, 6 1/8, and 6 5/8. And I don't know if you can see this at all, but I will put all the dimensions in the description box below. And then what I'm going to do with this next, I've already put tear and tape on the back. Every place I want my spine pieces to stick together. So I'll do one little piece at a time and burnish. Didn't look at the clock when I started. I was going to see how long I was taking as I went, and I forgot to look. And I don't know. The film doesn't tell me how long I've been going. That's interesting on my phone. So there's my spine piece. I think I've showed you guys how I did a much smaller book than this. And I do this, pretty much do the spines the same way. I was thinking about the different albums that I've made. And there's one that you can do that you're making it with envelopes. And that one's a lot of fun to make too. And it works kind of like this, but not exactly the same. So there's my spine piece. Now I'm going to put it in here, and when I put it in here, I want to center these between those creases. So now the cat and the dog are making noise. There's been no noise in this house all morning until I decide I'm shooting a video, and then every stinking one has to make noise. So I want to be sure I get lots of glue on these pieces because they're what's holding your pages. And then, and I've used tear and tape on this before, but when I have done that, these have lifted up a little bit, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put this on here, centering it top to bottom and side to side in between. In between my creases, and I want to be sure my glue sticks well. So I'm going to keep doing this. So there's my spine. And then I'm also going to crease these right here. Trying to make everything lay down flat. So when you're doing this with liquid glue, you might want to set it aside to dry for a while to be sure that your pieces are working right. But you can see I have the 4 spine pieces here. And now what I'm going to do is cover this part right here. Get the right pieces. Let's see. So I have 2 pieces that are 6.5 by 4 3/4. This is the back side of some of the paper in this pack. I really like this purple. I think it's really pretty. So I'm going to put this down. And I want about a 1/4 of an inch edge all the way around. There's a little bit of glue seeping out there, so I want to wipe it up while it's still wet enough to not mess with anything. And because I'm using this kind of glue, it stays a little bit sticky, which I really don't like. So I'm going to use my adhesive eraser to get that sticky off of there. Much better. Everything is shifting. So that's that side. And I messed up this corner. Just trim it off a little bit, then it doesn't look so bad. Then I'll take my other piece on the other side. I just figured out why my dogs start making noise as soon as I start filming, because I am really quiet. I don't make any noise when I'm crafting. And I think as soon as they hear me talking, they want to participate. They think something's going on and they don't want to miss it. So there's the inside. Here's our cover, the inside and outside. The next thing I'm going to do is, you'll notice that this book has ribbon ties, so I'm going to put those on next. And to do that, I know that this book is 7, so I'm going to make a mark at 3.5. This is a little quilting ruler. Well, fabric. It's for doing hems and stuff. But I thought it was really good for this, because this little mark here, it stops it. And then I can make my mark. 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. And I'll take some tear and tape and I'll put it a a piece right along here, covering up those marks. And then I'll put a piece over here, covering up these marks. And I'm using our metallic edge satin ribbon, which is very pretty. I'll put that there. And I'm going to close the book so I can be sure I get the ribbon in the same place on both sides. This one here. There we go. And for the cover, I have a lovely lipstick that's 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I have one of the pattern pieces that's 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I'm going to layer these together. And then I'll add this to the front of my card. Make sure my pattern is right side up, and it is. And then I have another one that I've already put together for the back of my card. And this is right side up. I think the paper's right side up. And then I have one for the spine. The lovely lipstick piece is 1 1/4 by 6 3/4, and the designer paper is 1 by 6 1/2. And I will put this on the spine. Stand this up. This one you can't tell as much which direction, because I don't have as big of a piece of pattern paper. You can't really tell if it's right side up or not, so that's a good thing. So there's a book. Very fun book. And you can see, oh, it went back down. A little bit of a gap there. I didn't leave time for the glue, but it'll be fine because it's sticking down well for the most part. Let's see, and then I have a pocket for the inside front cover. And I don't remember how big this is. This is a 4 1/4 inch square that I cut at an angle. There's an inch there on each side. And this is a 4-inch square. I'll put this on here. And this is a different pattern yet. This is not the same paper that's on the front. It's a different pattern. And now to make this a pocket, I'm going to only put a little thin layer of glue along 2 edges. Well, I shouldn't have gone off the edge like that. And then I'm going to put this right on the edge of the purple paper. So there's that pocket. I'm going to let it sit before I show you how the pocket part works. And now to start the pages. We have 4 pages, and they're all cut at 6 3/8 by 4 3/4. I cut 8 pieces. I shouldn't have used these pink. It looks like it's hard to see the pink. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to fold all these back. I'm going to put glue just along this edge of this piece. Stay in the camera. And then I don't want to go all the way down to the bottom because then my page won't bend. I want to go a little bit above that score line. And I made this an 1/8 of an inch bigger, 1/8 of an inch longer than the spine, just so it'll hang over a little bit. So I don't know if you can see. You see there's the score line. Score line's right there, and I've got just a little bit of an edge there. And I want this page to have a pocket on this side. So when I put the back side of the page on, I'm going to put glue along the bottom. And then just a thin little bit on the edges. And then I'll take this page and I'm going to line it. I'm lining up the top edges and then making sure it all does what I need it to do. There's a pocket in there, but I'm not going to mess with that pocket until my page has dried. The next set of pages has a top opening, so I've already cut with my 1.5 inch circle punch. And before I put this page on, I want to put, this goes at the top here, I want to put this on. And you'll see why in a second. This part is much easier without it attached inside the book. So I'm going to put this here. And I have another one for page 2, right? Page 2, left. Put this on here. I'm not putting glue kind of where that punch out goes, although I'm sure I'll get some of it on there anyway. And then, before I put them in the book, my circle punch go. I'm going to take my punch and then punch this. You can punch it all together later, but it's kind of hard to punch for 2 layers of cardstock plus 2 layers of designer paper all together. And this got some sticky on there, and that's the inside. I don't want any sticky on the inside. So now what I'm going to do is put this down. I really want more than that. I want it to stick well. I'm going to put this page on. Please excuse my husband. He has that chronic cough. And you can see I'm leaving that space again here. Except this one is not. There. So I'm leaving that space. What I didn't do was test these, but that's okay. Yeah, that's good. So this time I want the pocket at the top, so I'm going to put glue on 3 sides. And I'm putting, let's see, which is the bottom? This is the bottom, so I'll put it wider at the bottom because I have that 1/2 inch that I'm working with. And then I'm going to line these up at the top. Okay, so there's my first 2 pages. I just have 2 kinds of pages. I have page 1 and 3 are the same, and page 2 and 4 are the same. So now I'm going to decorate this part. And to do that, I'm starting with the same purple. Sorry if I bumped the camera. And I'm putting it here. And the reason it's cut at a diagonal is because I'm making a diagonal pocket, so I don't need to cover the whole page and waste the paper. And then this, I'm going to glue these 2 together. Isn't that pretty too? I love all of the designs in this paper pack. Well, there's one that's kind of a peachy coral color that I'm not too fond of, but otherwise I really love them all. Put this on here. And then this piece is for contrast edge, so I want to put glue along this edge. I want to keep pulling in my Lovely lipstick to go, because Lovely lipstick is in this pattern paper and Granny Apple Green is in there. There's like 15 colors in this paper, but I chose these 2 colors to use. So I'm going to stick that down. And then I will trim this part. I'm going to trim this one this way first, and then this way, and I'm still going to have to cut off my corners once I get it in the book. This one's going to be a pocket, so I'm putting glue just on 2 edges. And I'm going to stick this in here. I'm lining it up with the page edge. And you can see it sticks over, so I'm going to trim this. Let's see, how am I going to trim this? Trim this like this. And at the top, it looks like it doesn't. I did a good job of trimming the top. So that's that part. And the back is done the same way, so I'm not going to show you that right yet. And then page 2. I'm again following through with the Lovely lipstick. I'm making a crossways pocket. And then this, yeah, this is too long. I need to cut this. I forgot about that. How much do I need to cut off? Quarter, like 3/8 of an inch. Yep, that works. This is the coral color I was talking about. It's kind of a peachy color, actually. It's not really coral. I'll make sure this is right side up. I love the watercolor effect and that it's all lily pads. I just think this is really pretty. And then I'm going to fold and burnish all of my score lines. And I forgot to tell you the dimensions of this, but I will have them in the description below. This is the horizontal pocket. So I'm going to put glue on all these tabs. And then I'm going to put this in here. And the front and the back of this page are done the same way. So I'm going to pause for now and do a couple things, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I added my other 2 pages, so now I have all 4 pages in my book, and I put the pocket in the back. And this is what the book looks like now. And then I am going to do some embellishing. So the first thing I have, if I can find all my little doodads. First thing I have is a lovely lipstick scallop square and then a whisper white stitched shape square. And I'm going to attach this to this. And then I'm going to attach it to the book, the front of the book. Right about there, I think. And I've discovered when you're using liquid glue, if you kind of squish it around a little bit, it makes it grab better, grab quicker. So there's that part. I have stamped and die cut the big flower and the lovely lily pad, and then the actual lily pad. I stamped both of these on the back of some of these pattern papers, and I'm going to attach these using dimensionals. Let's see. Since this is on the front of the book, I want to be sure I have a lot on there. I don't usually use that much. I'll put this down. I think I'm going to do it something like this. So I'll put this down with glue. Like that. And then I will take the back off. I'll take off the back from my dimensionals. Sorry for the pausing in between my talking. I stop to think and then causes lots of problems. I'm done talking when I'm not. And then I've die cut all these little pieces. I made some of these little flowers. I have these fun little doodads. These are all in this die set. And oh, I had some little leaves and they disappeared. I bet they're in my trash can because they were tiny. Found one. Well, I can cut more and add them later. This little leaf, can't believe I trashed them. This little leaf goes with this die. And these dies all have matching stamps, but this is the only stamping that I did, which was these 2 right here. And now I'm going to switch glue because that doesn't work for what I want. I'm going to take some of my reptile glue, put on the back of here. just in some spots. This glue is much easier to work with than what I was using because it dries dry instead of sticky. And I'm going to put that on there. And it's all gonna, the glue's gonna dry clear so you won't see it. And then I have these glitter enamel dots. I just love these things. And I'm gonna put some of these around different places. Let's see. One there. There. I'm going to put one in there. Let's see. Excuse me. Nope, I don't like that. Where am I going to put this one? I'll put it right there. So just fun little splashes of color. And I haven't decided how I'm going to do the rest. So I thought I could I think what I'm going to do is put one of these like right here. You can embellish your book however you want to match your theme or your paper, whatever it is that you're doing. I need to fill up that bottle so it's easier to use. Put this on here. And so here's a pocket right here. But also here's a pocket right here. And I was waiting for this to dry for a while. I'm putting my bone folder in there to kind of open up the pocket. And I made these inserts. These are for the ones that are side. So this is another piece of that paper, different side of the paper. And on Granny Apple Green, and then I have white on the back. And I'm going to stick this inside. So this can be, you can add photos or journaling or whatever you want on here. Stick that in there. I'm just going to leave it sticking out a little bit. Thinking that I want maybe I'll put that there. Kind of like the way that looks. And for this one, I really only need glue along this little spine part of it. Yeah, that's fun. So then I'll go do the same thing on this pocket. You haven't noticed this about my personality yet. I like things to match. So if I do something on one page, I kind of always do the same thing on the other page. That's that. Here's my other piece. I'll put this one in right side up. Oh, first I need to kind of open it up, make sure it is all open. Put this one in with the white side up and leave it sticking out a little bit. And then where I have these, I'm going to do the same thing with my bone folder. Sorry, I'm going to get kind of close to the camera. And then I have these pieces that are smaller, and I put a little ribbon on top. Put this in here. You can stick that down kind of all the way because the ribbon is sticking out. And this one in here. Isn't that fun? Let's see. So I want to put this on here. The way I did in the front. This needs this guy to leave. One of my little cutout pieces didn't come out. And then, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to to take this one. Sometimes I really dislike glue. Everything sticks to it. I'm always picking up things I don't want. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to put this at the bottom of it. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to keep going. This is upside down, but you won't notice that when I put something on it. I'm going to keep going and adding embellishments. But the book is actually, for the most part, it's done. You can see how I made it. I'll have all the dimensions in the description below. Love this adhesive eraser. If you don't have one of these, you need one of these. Stampin' Up! Used to sell them and they don't anymore. So there's my little book. We can tie this up. Tie this in a bow. There we go. I could trim the ends. So that's the book. Let me know what you think. The surprise that I mentioned at the beginning is that I'm going to give away one of these two books. So in order to enter, you need to comment below and say, please enter me. I will leave this until, today is Sunday. I will leave this until Wednesday morning, and then I'll draw a name. So leave a comment below saying, please enter me. And also in your comment, tell me which of the two books you would prefer to have, the Honeybee or the Lily Pad paper. So let me know what you think of the book and which one you might like to have. You do need to say, please enter me. And this, I can only send this to the United States because it is way expensive to ship outside of the country. And you need to be 18 or older to enter. I think that's it. So yes, you do have to say in a comment below, please enter me, and which book you would prefer to have. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.